Hi guys. Can you believe that I'm finally getting around to filming my birth story? I feel like I still have imposter syndrome, like I can't even believe that I'm a mom and I have a birth story. But here we are. I didn't want it to take this long to actually like sit down and film this, but having a baby is just the most time consuming thing ever. And he's actually 4 weeks old today, and it's taken me this long. But I wanted to sit down while he's napping. Cross my fingers that he stays asleep so I can do this and try to get all my thoughts out because I just don't want to forget any details, you know what I mean? Apologies for like this video being kind of weird because some of it's filmed on my phone, some of it's this part, and then some of it was filmed on my smaller vlog camera. It was just an absolute crazy whirlwind and I didn't really have the time or energy or even like the thought of like, oh, I should film. I'm kind of disappointed in myself that I didn't get like the labor and delivery vlog that I wanted, that I've always thought I was gonna do. But that just goes to show that like labor and delivery is just insane and you just don't have time for it. I don't know how people do it. I seriously don't. So I'll try to keep this video like as concise as possible, but it's also a lot for me just to kind of remember the fun little details. So buckle up. If you guys are new to my channel, I just had my first baby 4 weeks ago. He was born on July 29th at 11:52 p.m. and I had him at 38 weeks and 4 days. I just want to preface this whole entire thing by kind of encouraging any new moms who are afraid of labor and delivery to just encourage you guys. I had a super positive experience and I was the most nervous ever about labor, but seriously, you can make it a positive experience, and I hope that my story kind of encourages you that you will be okay. Your body was made to do this. You're gonna know what to do. The doctors and nurses are super helpful. You can make the environment how you want to make it, and just like trust your gut because you're gonna get through it. As scared as I was, I would do it a million times over to have my baby here again. I should also kind of preface this with I had high blood pressure my entire pregnancy, so I was scheduled to be induced at 39 weeks if I did not go naturally before that. And also towards the end of my pregnancy, I had slightly low amniotic fluid, which I was kind of concerned about based on my blood pressure and that combined. I think maybe the amniotic fluid being low kind of is the reason that I started to go into labor anyway, naturally, which I will explain. I don't know, I think my son just wanted to come meet us early. So this story kind of starts on July 27th, Thursday. It was my last day of work, and that entire day I was having slight, what I thought was like Braxton Hicks contractions at the office, so that was fun. And then all Thursday night, I was up all night with them, and then all Friday, was my last day of work technically, but I worked from home because I was dying of contractions. I have a video that I filmed on my phone to kind of explain that, so I'll throw that in here.
Hi guys. Today is July 28th, and I think, maybe, possibly, I'm in early labor. I look like 1,000 pounds right now. The way I'm laying. I don't even think I told you guys, but I am scheduled to have my induction at 39 weeks on Monday, the 31st. I go in at night. But last night, actually yesterday, during work, Thursday, I was having on and off what I thought was like Braxton Hicks. But they were really hurting my lower back. All last night, I was having the contractions in the middle of the night, and I really thought I was just like gas pain from the raspberry tea that I was drinking, which, by the way, I got raspberry tea, not raspberry leaf tea, so I think it caused me more gas than I needed to. I was up like all last night having these contractions that I didn't know at the time were contractions, but I had an appointment this morning for a non-stress test, so I was like, all right, well, if it is contractions, I'll just ask them tomorrow what's going on. So we go in this morning, still having them. I was freaking out, thinking I was going to have to hide them so that they wouldn't send me to labor and delivery early, but see, I'm getting one right now. It really hurt. Anyway, so I asked her when I was hooked up to the monitors, I was like, am I getting contractions? Because it really feels like I am, but I don't know if it's just like horrible gas pain. She was like, no, you're getting contractions. She just told me to keep an eye on them, and, you know, between now and Monday, I could potentially go into labor on my own. And I don't know if that technically means I am now or not, because it's consistent, but not crazy. Like, right now, they're like 6 to 7 minutes apart, which is actually close to the time you're supposed to go into the hospital, which is crazy, because I'm 38 weeks and 3 days. And I'm just thinking, like, just no way. Like, there's no way that I could actually be doing this on my own at this point. Like, I thought I wouldn't go into labor at all. I mean, maybe I am, maybe I'm not, but still no signs of, like, mucus plug or water breaking or anything like that. It's just these contractions. But they're not fun. Let me tell you that. I didn't sleep all last night. I'm not sleeping today. I feel bleh. I got a big headache, which they told me to call if I had, so I probably should do that, but I always have headaches. My jaw feels kind of tight, so I'm, like, trying to relax with every contraction and just wait it out. It would be absolutely crazy if I end up going into labor on my own naturally first. Like, that's the dream, right? So I'm just waiting it out at home for as long as we can. In other news, Biscuit will not leave my side. Like, she normally doesn't leave my side, but, like, today she's being extra lovey. We're just lounging. The thing is, like, I don't know if I should keep moving to, like, keep things progressing, or if I should try to relax and conserve my energy. My head hurts so bad that all I want to do is lay down, but when I lay down, it really hurts. I'd rather be, like, up and swaying and stuff. I don't know what to do. Kyle's on an interview right now in the other room, so hopefully that goes well. It's crazy timing. Yeah, and I'll probably be filming this on some of my phone, some of my vlog camera, and some of my big camera. So, apologies for the weird quality. It's just gonna be whatever I have available to me at the time. I can't believe this is happening. Or not happening. Whatever's happening, I can't believe it's happening right now. Whatever this is. I don't know, but I will keep you updated.
So like I said in this video, I did start drinking raspberry leaf tea at like 37 weeks, I think I started. And I really do think that might have made the contractions begin. I don't know. I read somewhere that you shouldn't do that if you have high blood pressure, but I did it anyway and it worked and it was fine. So I think it worked. My doctors said it worked, and they also said that it makes for a cleaner delivery, as in there's not as much bleeding afterwards. So they told me to do it, basically. So that was Friday afternoon. I did not sleep at all Friday night. Again, I was literally up in bed, like on all fours, like breathing and swaying through those contractions. I will kind of explain to you guys, if you're curious, like what a contraction felt like to me. I think I was having back labor, so it was a lot of it in my back and then kind of like in my butt almost. Like it felt like it was like in my butt hole area. I don't know, just a lot of pain in the back area rather than the front, which I kind of was not anticipating. It never felt like period cramps to me, which is what people like kind of explain it as, but no, different. Me and Kyle were timing the contractions a little bit Friday, and they were kind of close together, but like not enough to like be of concern, like we should go in. So I thought to myself, all right, I need to try to get Friday night's sleep and we'll reassess in the morning. Like maybe I'll just stop. Maybe it's prodromal labor. I don't know. I was just like in denial that like I could go into labor by myself. You know what I mean? Because that was the goal. I did not want to be having to do my 39-week induction because they were going to do like cervical ripening and it was going to take like days. And my sister had a really bad experience where hers took like 36 hours and I just was like, no thanks. I tried to go to sleep Friday. What a freaking joke. Because Friday night was worse than Thursday night. Up all night, swaying through the contractions. We wake up Saturday. They're still pretty bad. I decided I'm gonna take a shower. I'm gonna call the on-call doctor and just see what they say. I call my doctor. She says, all right, you can come in and be checked. We pack up the car. I'm getting excited, but I'm like not overhyping myself up because I'm like, you're gonna get sent home. I was like, there's no way that this is like real. This was the part where it was really hard because you go into the hospital and you have to check in and get like a sticker, and the line was like out the door so long, of course. And I'm having contractions like it felt like every maybe 4 minutes at that point. So I stick Kyle in line. I'm like, I have to sit over here. So I sit down, I'm breathing through the contractions. I'm calling my mom and I'm telling her that I'm going in to be checked. People in the lobby could like tell that I was really uncomfortable. It was kind of embarrassing. That didn't make us get any further up in line. No one gave us their spot. Finally get checked in. We go upstairs. They ask me all kinds of questions, whatever. They tell me that I am having contractions, but this is not labor yet. This is not even early labor yet, he told me. So I was like, what a joke. Like, I feel like I'm dying, but okay. But they checked me and I was already 80% effaced and 3 centimeters dilated. I was so excited because like that meant that my body was doing it on its own. And that was the goal. I had to do blood work. They go back and I think I had to do a pee test. Not that long later, they came back and they said, so do you want to stay or do you want to go? And I looked at the doctor and I was like, well, I want to know what you think. Like, you tell me. Really, I wanted to stay because I was like, how am I going to go home and sleep tonight? Like, I'm dying. And he goes, no, I just wanted to know what you would say. I'm going to tell you what's happening. We're keeping you because your urine sample came back with protein in it. You officially have preeclampsia. At that point, I was like, not even concerned because they had been like scaring me the whole time. Like, oh, you could have it, you could have it. So I knew it was coming. I was just happy that they were going to keep me. Pretty quickly, they whisked me away off to a delivery room. Since I had the preeclampsia, they still technically needed to induce me a little bit, but my cervix had already started opening and ripening and stuff, so I didn't need the like Foley balloon or anything like that. Thank goodness. They tell me, all right, we're gonna start you on Pitocin, but we want you to eat first. So they tell me and Kyle to order dinner. I didn't know what the heck to get because nothing sounded appetizing. So I ended up getting pizza and cake. I did take a little video. I'll put that video in here.
Oh, hello. I haven't vlogged on this camera in a really long time. Maybe I could do this to distract myself. So, what is the date, baby? July
29th.
Wow. Like I said earlier, we were gonna call the doctor, and we did. She said, come in. When we got to triage, they were like acting like we probably would go home, and I was getting discouraged because I was in a lot of pain. And then he came in and said I have preeclampsia, which sucks, that's not ideal, but that I was already dilated to a 3 and 80% effaced.
which is like amazing that I did that on my own in the past 2 days. There's a baby crying here. Basically, I got admitted because of the preeclampsia, and they just started Pitocin after I was allowed to eat some dinner, which I literally had pizza and cake, so that's terrible, but what you gonna do? My contractions hurt a I don't know if the comb is helping at all. I just feel like anxious, but better than I thought I would. I don't love having this in my arm. That's like the worst. I feel like kind of shaky, but so far so good. The Pitocin just started and they said it starts really, really slow, so I think I'm still feeling my own contractions. I can't believe we're here. A couple days early. So, how are you feeling, honey?
Good. I'm tired, especially you. You didn't sleep over like 2 days.
Yeah, I have not slept at all. And now my upper back is hurting too. I haven't like relaxed barely at all today, which I know I need to do. It's hard to relax when you're hooked up to all these things. But yeah, we gotta do something to distract ourselves while it's not terrible still. Cause it's like torturous, just like sitting here. I'll show you the room. It's actually not that bad. That's an extra chair for me. All the baby stuff over there. And then husband. And I'm getting another one, so I'll check in later. Also, I want to say that this whole process was like really fast for me. I literally got in at 3 to get checked and had him before midnight, which is pretty impressive for a first-time mom. I started my Pitocin around 6 o'clock at night, and then like I said, I had him right before midnight. All my nurses were so nice. Everybody was so nice. Quick little story time. And note to you guys, I had told myself that I like wanted to keep on a bra under the gown, like a, you know, a nursing bra or something. And I don't know why, I just thought that would help me feel like less naked. And I was like, why would it be an issue, basically? But I forgot to switch into my nursing bra. So I went in with just a sports bra on, like that had no clasps or anything. I go in and I get hooked up to an IV here, right? And then I'm hooked, you know, you're hooked up to a pole. And they tell you, like, when you go to the bathroom, you have to, like, carry the pole in with you, whatever. And you have to unhook yourself from all these machines, and there's just so many, like, wires around you, and the amount of times that I got tangled, and, like, it was so stressful being attached to all these things. The, like, part that caused me the most anxiety was that I went to the bathroom, and I realized, like, oh, I still had the wrong bra on. So I told Kyle, like, I needed him to help me get the sports bra off because I was attached to this thing here. So if you can imagine, first of all, the hospital gown has, like, buttons down it. It's got ties. It, like, wraps around you. It's, like, so weird. And I couldn't even find, like, the hole that my arm went back in because we had undone it. Trying to get my sports bra off while attached to an IV, we're like weaving it through this pole and like trying not to pull the thing out of my arm, which makes me want to vomit. Like, just the IV was like honestly the other worst part. I hated having that there. Disgusting. We must have spent like 10 straight minutes in the bathroom trying to get this bra off. And like Kyle was frustrated and I was frustrated and I was overwhelmed and like sweating and I was scared that someone was gonna come in while it was happening and I was like naked, and like you don't care about being naked at all, which I learned. So it was fine. Anywho, and then I put on a nursing bra, which they had to take off of me to get the epidural anyway. So if you've never given birth before, please just don't wear a bra at all. Like, I promise you don't need one. I don't know why I thought, like, I've seen people wear them, but it's not worth it. They're gonna take it off anyway. So they start Pitocin. They start low and slow. I still don't have any epidurals because I went in like not knowing if I really wanted one. I was like, let me just see how bad it is. Ideally, you don't get one, right? I guess that's what I was thinking. Like, who needs it? I can do this, right? Yeah, I got nothing to prove here. I really needed it. So I think I only made it to like 4 centimeters before I asked for it. Pitocin started at 6. I didn't get the epidural till 8:30, so kind of proud of myself for that. The other thing about labor is like the time just flies by. I had no idea what time it was. My phone was not near me at all. Like, I was so focused on just breathing through the pain. And in this time, like, I needed Kyle so badly to counter pressure on my back, like dig into my back as much as he could. So that really helped. I don't understand how people could do it without a partner. Like, Kyle was my everything. I desperately needed help. I forgot to mention, at 6 o'clock they started Pitocin, and at 6:30 they came in and they broke my water. In this time, my doctor comes in with a resident med student, and she's like, okay, we're gonna check you, and I'm teaching him how to check people, so is it okay if he checks you? And I'm like, you know what? Again, I don't care at this point, like, about decency. Sure, stick your fingers on up there, like, whatever. My doctor does it to check how many, and I think it's like 4 centimeters. And then he checks it, and the kid was like, it's very nice, but like, this was so awkward. Like, hello, miss. I don't think he bowed. But like, I'm gonna check you today. And like, you know, he puts his fingers in and he's like, I think it's like 1, 2, 3, like 4. Like, I think I feel like 4. Cause he's like talking to the doctor and they're like having a teaching moment. And I'm like, can we just get this over with, you know? That was interesting. And then they, you know, stick this like crochet needle up you and they break your water, which didn't hurt at all. It honestly felt kind of good. Like, and I had no epidural, so I felt this at that point. And it just felt like kind of like a relief, like a release of warm water. Gosh. Things were getting pretty intense for me and I didn't know how to cope, honestly. As much videos as you can watch on breathing, I watched them all. The breathing only helped me to a certain extent. And I also did the combs that you squeeze in both hands. I think that helped a little bit. And I was up and swaying, and at this point I did the birth ball. Once I got on the birth ball, I like couldn't do it anymore. My nurse kind of put the bed, like the bottom half down, and you sit on top of the birth ball and then like lean over onto the bed like this. For some reason, like having that pressure on your pelvic floor like made it so much more intense. My 2 nurses, like, they kept coming in and they'd be like, do you want the happy juice yet? And I'd be like, no, I'm fine, you know, like dying. Basically, I got on the birth ball. I did it for like 5 minutes and then I called the nurse and I was like, yeah, ready for an epidural, which I was very scared of. So it's 8:30, epidural guy comes in, anesthesiologist, man. I didn't realize like how much of a sterile procedure an epidural is. Like, they literally have to keep everything sterilized because it literally goes in your spinal cord. They didn't even want Kyle to be in the room for it. First I told him to get out and I was like, nah, I don't want him to leave. And then they let him stay, but they were like, you have to sit down. And I thought that you could hold onto your husband, but no, they don't let you do that because it is a sterile thing. So you have to hold on to the nurse, which was fine. My nurse was just was amazing. I feel like I waited just a tad too long to get the epidural because you have to be extremely still. By that point, I was dying. Like I could not make it through the contraction without doing this, you know, swaying. But I did it somehow. I did it because you have to, because they scare the crap out of you that you're gonna be paralyzed if you don't stay still. That was really scary because he came in and he was like, you have scoliosis, right? And I'm like, yeah. And he was like, I might have to do it a couple times or it might not work because of your scoliosis, so. But I have scoliosis at the top of my spine, not the bottom, so it was okay. Oh, also another random interesting fact. They put on the bed, like all of the sterile tools that they need next to you. They tell you don't touch anything, whatever you do, don't touch anything. And I think at one point, like I'm bent over, I think at one point I went to like get a hair out of my face or something. And my nurse and the anesthesiologist were like, no. And they like grabbed my arm, like and put it down, like, because I thought I was gonna touch something over there. It was quite scary, but I think that was the worst part of the whole entire thing. Like pushing him out was better than getting the epidural. I hated getting the epidural. But once I got it, they just basically put you on your side and they tell you, okay, it's time to take a nap. I could not sleep knowing that, yeah, I was gonna have to push him out in a few hours. Also, I had no idea how long this would take before I was 10 centimeters and ready to push. So just the anxiety of everything at that point was ridiculous. I got the epidural and I had the epidural shakes so bad I couldn't sleep at all. I had put like eye mask on and I had tried to close my eyes, but it was so scary, dude. Like that time was rough. That was at 8:45. And then I was having a lot of pressure down there. By 10:50, they came in and they said, you're 10 centimeters, it's a go time. 8:45 to 10:50, 2 hours. The Pitocin must have just been working, or they must have turned it up or something, because I had the epidural now. The epidural was the most amazing thing. Like literally I felt zero, nothing other than just like pressure. I know that's what they say, but it was amazing. Like 10 out of 10 recommend. I would definitely get it again. Oh my god, I would get it again. You got nothing to prove, okay? You're no less if you get an epidural than if you didn't have one, okay? 10:50 comes around. They're like, hey, it's time to push. I'm like so afraid, but I'm stoked. I can't believe it. I kept like telling them like I can't believe this. They were kind of shocked that it went by so fast as well. As a first-time mom, the pushing part was interesting. Because of the epidural, you can't feel anything, so you're pushing, but like you don't know where you're aiming. You know, they tell you to like breathe down through your vagina, and I couldn't feel anything, so I'm just doing it, but I'm like, is it working? Is it doing anything? And for a while, like they're like, do it less in your face, and they tell you to hold your breath, which I knew that they were gonna do, but every video you watch nowadays is like, it's better to breathe the baby out. You can breathe down, like do turtle breathing, all these different things that I learned that I wanted to try. And I had said that to them and they were like, no, hold your breath. And I kept saying, can I cough him out, breathe him out, breathe down, whatever. And they're like, hold your breath. And that was really hard because I would find it getting stuck in my face and whatever. But then my nurse started to like, TMI, but like, you know, stick her fingers in there when I was pushing, and she'd be like, push against this. And that actually really helped because I could kind of focus on something. I could barely feel it, but I could feel it a little bit. So I did a bunch of practice pushes with her. My doctor came back and then there was like, I want to say at least 2 other nurses in the room. My best friend had made me a playlist for pushing, and I had no idea what songs were on it, but I just put it on the Bose speaker and it like created a whole vibe. Like it was like an upbeat, like fun playlist of like motivating and whatever. My doctor was like dancing to Missy Elliott while I was pushing, and like the nurses kept saying like, oh, this is so fun, like this is such a good delivery, blah blah blah. Highly recommend music for pushing if you're into that kind of thing. I thought it was so fun. No idea like what song he was born to, because again, you're just so in the moment of like pushing every couple minutes. The pushing was really hard but not painful, and I was surprised that in between pushes, because of my epidural, I was just chilling. You just like chill with your legs out like this, and I was like talking to my nurse, like joking about like baby names and like the names of her kids, and like I had told her that my son's name was Archie, and like she was like, oh, I love that. Like everyone said that they loved the name the whole time. And we were like, oh, do you guys say that to everybody? And they were like, no. Like really, we don't. Some people name their kids weird things. I pushed for 2 hours. They were all really encouraging, like saying how good I was doing. They probably do that to everyone, but whatever. And then at 11:52, he was born. This is something that I kind of wish that I remembered more. It's gonna sound horrible, but like I don't really have like much memory of like him being born and like being put on me and like seeing him for the first time, and I wish I had filmed it, but like something in your brain, I don't know if it's just adrenaline or whatever, like I can't remember it that well, and it's driving me crazy. Like I do have pictures, which I'll put in some pictures here, of us meeting for the first time. I remember him being born, and then they put him on my chest, and I remember saying to Kyle, like, I can't even see him because they're like laying and his head's off to the side, and like I didn't even get like a good look at him. And I didn't cry, which I thought that I would be like bawling my eyes out. No tears. Which again, I think maybe it's just like the adrenaline. Like it's not like I wasn't happy, but it was just like, just being like mind fucked. Like you have no idea what's going on. I don't know, it was really weird. After he was born, yeah, also just a blur. Like I think we did an hour of skin to skin. I know Kyle cut the cord, cried right away. He was 6 pounds, 1 ounce, 19 3/4 inches, and he was really cute, I know that. He's on my chest, and then I had to get all these stitches. So I ended up with 2 second-degree tears, 1 forward and 1 back. My doctor, she said to me, oh, you have kind of a unique tear. Something about my urethra. I don't know, but I know I have 1 in the front and 1 in the back. But second degree is not terrible, but I will say 4 weeks postpartum, I'm still in a lot of pain, and I can't imagine in 2 more weeks it being completely gone. We'll see about that, but it has not been fun recovering down there. My doctor had like a face shield on while she's doing stitches, which was just the other worst part, just thinking about it. And my epidural was kind of wearing off at this point. I could slightly feel like a pinch from the stitches, which was bleh. At one point I like saw a reflection in her face shield. Luckily not anything clear I could see, but just a bunch of red, and I just was like, you know, thank you, no thank you. So once the stitches were done, I think we just stayed in labor and delivery for a little bit, and then we get whisked away to the like mother baby unit. Nothing crazy happened after in the postpartum room. He passed all of his tests and everything. It was just a lot of like people coming in and out, taking your vitals, taking the baby's vitals, like just, I didn't sleep then either. So I just didn't sleep for Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and then basically never again since then. But I will say, people say that newborn sleep is better than pregnancy sleep, and I fully agree with that, dude. I sleep way better postpartum than most of my pregnancy. Let me go get my baby. I can't believe that I have a baby on my YouTube channel now. So weird. Filming makes me feel like more normal and like myself, you know? But the fact that I actually have a baby is crazy. But here he is. He's 4 weeks old today. This is Archie, Robert, Anacker. He's just waking up from his nappies. He's tiny. He's a tiny little boy. What you got in your face? I'm trying to show him to you. We just love him so much. I love being his mommy so much. Yeah. Interesting fact about Archie is that he was born with a little extra piece on his ear. See? Which is just this like cute little floppy thing, and it makes him more lovable, I think. We are gonna get it removed. Just, he has to be like 6 months old for it. Other than that, he's just my perfect little baby boy. We love him so much. I'm probably gonna like kick myself because I forgot details or something, but that is Archie's birth story. I couldn't be happier with how it went, and like I said, I hope this encourages anybody who's nervous. Feel free to comment below or like direct message me on Instagram if you have specific questions. I'd be more than happy to help out any other mama. After this video, I do have a couple clips of our families coming to the hospital and meeting him for the first time. I haven't even looked at them yet, so can't even promise that they're good. But I think I'm gonna try to make that into a little video, and then I'm gonna do like a postpartum update pretty soon, and just talk about how I'm feeling postpartum, because it's a lot. There's just so many thoughts. I have so many thoughts. Things that I did expect and didn't happen to me, or I didn't expect and did happen to me. You know, all the things. But I gotta go feed the boy. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys if you are still here. You're an MVP for making it through the video. But I will see you in the next video. I can't believe I'm a mommy. Okay, bye.